Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, it keeps coming and coming. Judge up to now 51 home runs. The Yankees defeat the Colorado Rockies 2 out of 3 games, which, really should sweep them. But nevertheless, that's not really the story, though. But the story is Aaron Judge, who just continues on his home run pace. I'm shocked, pitchers are even throwing to him. Hits 2 more home runs in the finale of today's series, where the Yankees are able to wrap up, at least take 2 out of 3 after, dropping the game on Old Timers Day of all day. You invite everybody in there and you lay a clunk of it. But nevertheless, the story is Judge there. And, I went to the game the other day. It was one of the Cleveland games there. I was with somebody, and I was worried that, hey, remember what happened last time with Judge when he was chasing the Roger Maris record? He was pressing for the 61, 62, and we saw, unfortunately, Judge kind of go against, what got him there. He was swinging outside the strike zone, wasn't being disciplined anymore, and it seemed to get into his head. And then he carried that over into the playoffs, which, I know you had maybe one home run there during the Cleveland series, but again, even though they moved on from there in Houston, he was absolutely, really had nothing in the tank there. And again, it just seemed like him swinging out of his shoes there to get number 61 to 62 there is what kind of took him out of his game there. And then the fear is that, is this going to happen again, where now is he going to challenge his old mark of 62 home runs in 2022, but now, potentially, is he going to challenge Barry Bonds' 73 home runs hitting, I believe that was 2001. So we'll kind of dive into that. I don't think that's going to happen, but before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, get cool little insights and rants like this. You got to be a podcast subscriber, so wherever you get your favorite podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees podcast, and there's also a YouTube version of the show, updated frequently, maybe not as frequently as the audio podcast, but make sure you go both. So afterwards, go to YouTube and look for Section 420 Talkin Yankees and subscribe there as well. So, yes, Aaron Judge is having an incredible season. Perhaps you might even say more impressive than the 2022. And now the case is going to come up now if he's going to be challenging his old, American League record, which he set back in 2022 of 62 home runs, which people kind of feel that's like the real number because Barry Bonds did steroids and stuff. So, maybe, and obviously Roger Maris Jr., he made no bones about it. He considers Aaron Judge the true single-season home run leader. You could debate that till the cows come home, but look, when you look up the stats and everything else, it's still Barry Bonds. You could put all the asterisks you want in there. It's still Barry Bonds' record, 73 home runs. I believe that was in 2001. Now, does Aaron Judge have a shot of tying that and eclipsing that? Possibly. You need, I guess at this point, 22 to tie and then 23 to take it over. I just don't see that being the case. He has about, a little bit more than a month left, but he would almost have to hit, a home run per game, maybe a couple like we saw today, 2 home runs, in a game like that and kind of build that up there. I just don't see that happening. Number one, I just don't think many pitchers are going to pitch to him as much in September. Again, they don't want to be those guys that give it up like that. And again, just kind of what we saw in the Toronto series a couple weeks back. I think there's a lot of situations where they just might have put up 4 fingers and walk him, even if it's 2 outs and the base is empty, or just, kind of give him those intentional walks, just kind of pitch around him and hey, look, if he swings for the great, if not, we'll just walk him. So I don't think he's going to get enough pitches to hit that, but nevertheless, it's going to be, obviously in the air a little bit. But the more important thing is that I think this is a totally different beast than 2022. That was, obviously the first time Judge was doing it. He had all the pressure of surpassing it, and now that he surpassed the 61, he got to 62. Even if he gets there again, and even if he looks to beat his own single season mark, which again will be an American League record, it wouldn't be an MLB record because that would still technically go to Barry Bonds, but it would still be the American League league leader for the most home runs in a single season. I don't think Judge will press this time, so I think it's a totally different beast. I think he learned his lesson from last time, and I don't see what's the hurrah in it. Sure, you'd like to get more than 62 home runs just to do it, but I don't see what happened 2 seasons ago. I don't see him getting out of the strike zone. I don't see him swinging out of his shoes and kind of being undisciplined and kind of going against what got him there. I think he kind of learned his lesson from last time, and really what's to be gained? It's just, as say it's Judge versus Judge. Sure, for personal accolades, let's say he ends up with 63 or 64 home runs. Okay, what's the difference? Does it really make a difference? No. So I don't think he's going to go that crazy to do so. If that's where he lands, that's where he lands. But I think this time Judge is in a better frame of mind. He's got the experience. He remembers what happened last time. And I don't think he's going to be swinging out of his shoes. I think he's a little bit more disciplined. And because there's really nothing there for him, at best he's just going to beat himself, and who really cares? Now, if by some small chance he ends up being able to challenge the Bonds 73 home runs single season record, that could be a little interesting, a little different. I still think he'll be more disciplined than last time. Again, I don't think he was selfish in trying to go for it last time. I think he was. I just think maybe he might have been caught up in the moment a little bit, but I don't think it was out of selfishness. I think it was maybe more just trying to please the fans and please the world. And again, you got to, all these cameras on you every at bat. I mean, anytime there's a game on another channel, they cut away for your at bats. I mean, it's a lot of pressure. You can understand him wanting to give into that a little bit, and plus just wanting to do it from just the Yankee family and Roger Maris Jr. and all that. You have everyone, with their phones out and taking, flashing the cameras, flashing every pitch basically. So yeah, you could see someone getting caught up with that. I just don't think that would happen this time around, even if there's an opportunity for him to challenge Bond's record. I just think he'll be more disciplined about it, so I don't think it'll get as bad as it did in 2022, again, because I just think he learned his lesson from last time. So fans that are worried about that he's going to get, his swing is going to be all out of whack and he's going to be funky like that, that's not going to be the case. I think he'll stay better disciplined this time because I think he just recognizes overall, not that he didn't have faith in the 2022 team, but I think he looks at this team now as having a better shot. They still got to get the little things together in the starting pitching and especially in the bullpen together. But I think it looks at the offense, at least we got going here with Soto here, and I don't think he wants to blow this opportunity just for a personal record. Not that he was doing that in 2022, but I just think it's a totally different mind frame. So again, fans worried about it. He's going to be his swing is going to be all out of whack in September because he's going to be looking to chase the record. Not going to be the case. I think even if the Barry Bonds thing comes in play, which I don't think it is because I just don't think he's going to get enough pitches to hit to do that. It's not going to pitch to him as much. I still think Judge will be disciplined there, so would not worry about that. And again, as for this homestand, you got to say a little disappointing. I mean, you had the first game against Cleveland. You had it in the bag. You had a 3-0 lead early on. They blow that. Unfortunately, you come back and win the next two games, in kind of somewhat easily fashion. And this Colorado series, I mean, this team is like, again, if the Chicago White Sox aren't the worst team in baseball, this is maybe 1A, the Colorado Rockies being a terrible team in baseball. Again, should be an easy sweep. I mean, these are wins you should be collecting up there. But, okay, the Yankees squander one, fine. And they come back big in the last game there. Again, just with a home run fast, which not included 2 Judge home runs. But then you had 3 home runs in a row by Soto, Judge, and then Stanton back to back there. So Yankees teeing off, even Gleyber chipping in one later in the game. So to put up a 10 spot there, which is all well and good. But still, a lot of these so many easy wins. I mean, again, 2 games they dropped to Detroit. They drop a game to the Chicago White Sox. Drop this game to Colorado. I mean, those are 3 or 4 games there the Yankees should have had. Even maybe lose one of them, okay, but it's hard to complain about the team. Again, there are 23 games over 500, and right now in first place, but that could just change in 2 games because, again, them and the Orioles going back-to-back there. But you just feel uncomfortable, though, to go. The Yankees still letting a lot of easy wins go away, and you want to go back to the 90s Yankees, the Torres Yankees. They pretty much almost won all those easy winnable games. I mean, they just collected up. You almost put a W in those columns for those games there. But with this version of this year's Yankees, overall they're good. You can't complain when they're getting 23 games over 500. But they also have the propensity to lose to easy teams, which they should not be doing. Now you can say, look, it was Will Warren in there. He's not really a part of the rotation. They spot saw him a little bit. And he kind of was done, and this is a couple of games in a row now with Warren. He's just kind of, again, maybe his little magic is worn off there after that good start against the Phillies, where he also got beat up early, but at least he held it together. But the past couple times now, he has not been able to do that, and not really giving the Yankees a chance to compete in the game. So that was the Colorado series. I guess the other positive you take about it, we finally got Chaz Chisholm Jr. back. Again, there was speculation that he might have to go into the knife. He avoided that, so he came back. And we look at the bullpen, which again Cashman's always tinkering with, and it looks maybe I was very high on Mark Leiter Jr. Again, so far he's been okay overall, but even he's been cuffed up a little bit lately. Because this bullpen has been overused, been taxed, and even now Mike Talkin, which he lasted longer than I think he would. He had a little bit of success going there for a while. Was designated for assignment, so we'll see if this is a precursor to some other move. Does this mean Ian Hamilton's quicker to come back? Is this a move to clear some room for Scott Efros, who, I mean, he's throwing down there in the minors. You'd think he'll be back by now, but maybe for some reason they just don't feel comfortable with him, or maybe they're just waiting for a bullpen spot to open up, and maybe now this is the path for Efros to join the team. So Mike Tompkin, thank you for your couple of good months. Again, you lasted longer than anyone thought you would, but unfortunately this is again been the merry-go-round for the Yankees. Again, Cashman's still not really settled on the bullpen the way he likes it. I know he's got You got Combs as your closer. I think his key guys, of course, is Luke Weaver. You would see Tommy Kahnle as well. I think, again, those are kind of his main guys to set things up a little bit. But, again, Cashman's still not satisfied. Again, they brought up Mazur the other day there. And, again, he could just be around for a week or two, and who knows, maybe he's gone as well. Again, this Yankee bullpen, it's still, I think, a little worrisome. It's not garbage, it's not terrible, but you want to talk, this is a championship-level bullpen. Can't really say that right now, but, let's see if some guys step up there. So that's the episode. Judge is teeing off there. He's up to 51 home runs. I think he definitely got a shot of surpassing his 62 mark. But again, I don't think he's going to get outside of his game this time. I don't think it'll get into his head this time. I think he's more mature and has a better grasp of the situation. So I wouldn't worry there. And the Yankees will move on now. Go down south a little bit against the Washington Nationals, which is yet another team about 12 games under 500. They lost 2 out of 3 against the Braves, this past weekend there, so maybe they're down in the dumps a little bit. And the Yankees got the starters they want lined up perfectly for the series. So really, and I always say this and they never do it, it should be a sweep. You got Nestor Cortez, who has been brilliant in his last 2 starts. It looks like he's finally found it. You got him starting off. Garrett Cole, who again gave you a one-hit performance the other day. Still not stretching him out there, but pretty solid the past couple of starts. And of course, Rodon, who looks like he's righted the ship as well his way. Got the win in the first game of this series against Colorado there. So the Yankees kind of got the best, maybe 3 guys that are throwing the ball the best right now lined up for this Washington series. It's a subpar team there. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Yankee fans probably down there as well. So this should be almost like a borderline home game for the Yankees. Really should take a sweep there and see if they can pad some wins there over the Baltimore Orioles. Catch you next time.